We'll meet the photographers featured in this light of ours.
We'll attend the 2018 Imagine You conference.
And we'll have a preview of Main Stage Irving Las Colinas' Witness for the Prosecution.
All this and more coming up About Town.
Hello everyone and welcome to About Town. I'm Diana Pfaff.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman, and look what a surprise, we've got Diana Pfaff with us today. This is great. So you are taking time out of a crazy busy schedule to be with us, and thank you for that. What's been keeping you busy lately?
Well, first, thanks for having me, Kathy. And restaurant openings left and right in our visitor district entertainment center at the Toyota Music Factory, which is so exciting. We've got two big grand opening weekends that I want everybody to know about.
Oh yes, this will be fun, folks. Listen up.
It will be. Big Beat Dallas, which has 5 restaurants in the Toyota Music Factory. We'll have their grand opening weekend, March 29th through April 2nd. Live music and great food and so much fun going on there. And then the Music Factory itself will have grand opening weekend, April 13th through April 15th. So
get out your dancing shoes.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, get
absolutely.
over there. That's
yes,
great.
ma'am.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you guys for tuning in. We've got news for you about a compassion fatigue class that's coming up at the Heritage.
We've also got a preview of the Irving Police Award Banquet and news on celebrating Irving 2018.
As always, we also want to hear from you. If there's a community event you'd like to promote on the show or a story you'd like to see us cover.
You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you.
The Irving Black Arts Council hosted the 2018 African American History Month program, commemorating time-honored Irving traditions and embracing new ones. Here's a look in this week's Arts Review.
All I have in life is gone, stormy weather, since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time, raining all the time.
Autumn Green's tribute to Lena Horne hit all the right notes at this year's African American History Month program at the Irving Arts Center. The tribute followed the unveiling of this year's African American Heritage Stamp, which honors Horne for her contributions to both entertainment and the advancement of civil rights. Carolyn's Danceland also performed at this year's event. The centerpiece of this year's African American History program was a panel presentation on the exhibit This Light of Ours, featuring the photographers who captured civil rights history in over 100 iconic images. Angela Lang spoke with them about their work.
They are from different backgrounds.
I'm a Nikkei, that is specifically a Japanese Canadian Nisei, born to immigrant parents.
I started out with the Northern Student Movement in New York and Detroit. And I got arrested and decided to go down to Mississippi. If I was going to get arrested for photographing a demonstration in Harlem, then I'd get arrested for something serious.
They shared the same mission.
It was for them to see themselves strong and taking leadership, and not the sort of normal victim, oppressed kind of portrayal of Afro-Americans at the time.
In the 1960s, this group of activist photographers found themselves in the Deep South, documenting public and private moments of the civil rights movement for SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
The one that we're standing beside was one of the first pictures I ever took.
Tamio recalls taking this picture of a proud young man moments after he suggested a new superhero to the boy.
Yeah, I thought you were a super snake, you know, the superhero fighting evil Jim Crow so black people could be free. He says, yeah, Mr. We super snake, click. So that's the story of this image.
And then there's the story behind these iconic images, taken as a patrolman ripped the American flag from a 5-year-old Anthony Quinn.
They're leading Anthony away, and his mother says, Anthony, don't let that man take your flag. And Anthony holds on. So he's holding on here. The patrolman has probably never met resistance from a small black child before, and he went momentarily crazy. And that picture followed him for the rest of his life. It was mentioned in his obituary.
157 pictures, each with a different story.
This exhibit actually gives a history lesson for people who look at it sequentially. But it's a small thumb sketch of what actually happened. So I would like for people to not only know that this happened, but want to find out more about it.
And these photographers hope the movement they helped document more than 50 years ago can light the way for the future.
I'm hoping the young people from Florida at a certain point who ended up being victimized by that shooting could intersect with what other young people did 60 years ago and know that their cause is right, that they will win something, they will win. We made change and they're going to make change.
For About Town, I'm Angela Lang.
If you missed this extraordinary exhibit, you can learn more at cdeautah.org. The Center for Documentary Expression and Art created the exhibit, and there are resources on the website as well as a book that chronicles the exhibit.
The 4th annual Imagine You Conference gave teens and young women a chance to do just that, imagine a bright future. But it also gave them some tools and strategies to accomplish their goals. Susan Kamyab has more.
High school senior Savannah Vargas is already planning her future. It begins with joining the Army after graduation.
After a couple years, when I get settled into the Army, I'm going to take online school and then more of arts because I'm into photography and videography. So I'm going to do more into that and hopefully make a career after 20 years of doing the service.
But she's not the only one who's deciding on her career early.
I want to be a pediatric endocrinologist.
I love teaching because I just like explaining stuff and I like debating, so it just makes me excited.
She and other young women are attending the 4th annual Imagine You conference at Lively Point Youth Center in hopes of preparing them for life in the real world.
The conference is for middle and high school girls, and it's aimed at promoting health and wellness, career and personal development, and positive self-images.
It's always important for you to have some type of foundation while you're growing up so that you have great people to look up to, and you get to learn different educational tools, different career tools to help you along your journey.
The program is split into 3 sessions. They are taught about self-defense by the Irving Police Department.
Basically what we did was they taught us 2 moves. I'm trying to remember what they were called. One was called the knee slit or something like that. And it kind of hurt me because I'm really weak. But it was pretty fun. And then they taught us how to get out of tricky situations. I feel like it was beneficial because I do a lot of walking. Like I walk to school sometimes, I don't walk all the way, but my mom drops me off at a certain area and then I walk the rest of the way. So if I'm ever walking alone and somebody comes up behind me, I know what to do to get away from them.
Then there is a bias class.
The bias class was really interesting. It really did show me that we create preconceived ideas, obviously, about people just the way they look by our icebreaker that we did on different pictures of people and what we thought their name and their occupation was.
It showed us about stereotyping and how when we look at people, we shouldn't just judge them from their looks. To get to know people before you say anything first, to learn and not to judge others.
They also participate in a career fair.
We've actually added careers that the girls have showed interest in the past. So we have some healthcare careers. So we have medicine, nursing, and healthcare management. We also have cosmetology, graphic design, STEM, so the science, technology, engineering, and math. And then we have teaching and education.
And between sessions, there is a community service project for the girls.
They are putting together bags of hygiene products that we're going to donate to a less fortunate group of young ladies. And because they attend the conference for free today, there are lots of donors to the conference. And so they're going to write thank you notes at our gratitude station to thank people for donating to the conference today.
Through these impactful classes and empowering instructors, the Imagine You conference helps girls better prepare themselves for future endeavors.
This program is beneficial because it can kind of give me a background on what to expect and kind of give me some advice so I know what to do and what not to do, so I don't make it seem like I'm a beginner whenever I first start.
And teach them valuable life lessons that they will hopefully pass on to others.
What they learn, maybe they can take it back to someone else and share it with them as well. And then instill that in them so when they get older, they too can do something like this.
For About Town, this is Susan Kamyab.
The Sims Foundation of Hope presents the Imagine You Conference each spring. Email them at simsfoundationofhope@yahoo.com to be added to their mailing list for next year's event.
Many people who find themselves in the role of caregiver to a disabled or elderly family member know how challenging that role can be.
Sharon Fine will be presenting a class on compassion fatigue at the Heritage Senior Center to help caregivers with strategies to press the reset button. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
It's great to have you here, Sharon. So let's talk a little bit about what this is, compassion fatigue. Some people think maybe it's like burnout, but that's not the deal.
Well, sometimes the qualities are the same. What I want to start by saying is compassion fatigue is not an illness. It's something that we live with when we're caring more for others than we're caring for ourselves. So some people may actually feel burnt out or have that malaise and wonder, what's wrong with me? I really don't understand. But what they are is they are giving, 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 and not taking, no self-compassionate care.
So their own well is not being filled back up.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
They're dry and they're tired and they want to put a name on it and they don't have it. We call it compassion fatigue.
Tell us a little bit about your upcoming program at the Heritage.
The program at the Heritage is an invitation to professional and personal caregivers. I understand that we'll have the senior population there. So what we're going to do is we're going to educate them. We're going to enlighten them on what compassion fatigue is and kind of drive it home. Give them something to identify with, and then we'll go through some of the really easy back pocket tools, I call them, the healing modalities that are available that cost no money, that are free for us to use so that we can cope. We have more strategies to deal with living with compassion fatigue.
That is so valuable. That is so valuable. It's great that you guys are doing that. So in addition to the class that you have coming up at the Heritage on April 3rd, you've also got a kind of a on steroids version of this that's going to happen on the 14th.
That's a really good way of putting it. The Compassion Fatigue Symposium is a CEU certified program, a full day for professional and personal caregivers, and there we bring in professionals to educate our listeners, our audience, on what compassion fatigue is, and we integrate it into a somatic event of healing modalities. So this particular event this year is over the top. We're very excited about it, and we look forward to hosting that event that day.
And that's great. Can you tell us a little bit more about where we can learn about both events?
Sure. You can find us at educaredallas at gmail.com. That's the email, but educaredallas.com is our website, and you can find us there. You can also email me at educaredallas@gmail.com.
All right, fantastic. So, folks, so the class at the Heritage is going to be on April 3rd, starts at 10:15 a.m. Right there at the Heritage. If you want more information, of course, as Sharon just said, educaredallas.com is where you can find more out about the symposium, which happens on April 13th at the Lovers Lane United Methodist Church.
I Can Only Imagine tells the story behind the hit song by Christian rock band Mercy Me. Dennis Quaid stars as singer-songwriter Bart Millard's father, and he sat down with Susan Konyab to discuss the film. Here's a look.
It's an amazing song.
Just kind of happened. Took about 10 minutes, I guess.
Bart, you didn't write this song in 10 minutes. Took a lifetime.
I Can Only Imagine tells the untold true story behind Mercy Me's hit song, which was inspired by the relationship between lead singer Bart Millard and his abusive father, Arthur. Dennis Quaid plays Arthur in the film and discusses the difficulty of his character.
Where's Mama? She's gone. She don't want me no more. And she don't want you neither.
When I read a script, that's the only time I get to be an audience member with a first-time experience of it. And it's usually the story that hits me, that decides whether I want to do it or not. And this one was very, very powerful. Very difficult character to do, Bart's father, because he was very abusive physically and verbally, any way you could be. All of Bart's childhood into his teens, and a very tortured person himself.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a very difficult role to play.
And I've always loved music. And I found some songs that I held on to. They gave me hope.
Mercy me, that can't be his real voice.
Because I needed it. Dad, I can do this.
No, you can't. And you're gonna blink your eyes and you're gonna realize that life has gotten you nowhere because you chased some stupid dream.
I can
There's also another great message about chasing your dreams, like following your dreams, because even though no matter how many times Bart's father told him, like, you know, the dreams don't pay the bills, it won't come true, he still never gives up. Before you became an actor, did you ever feel discouraged about following your dreams?
I got downhearted. Well, yeah, you get discouraged. But you have to have a large capacity, an immense capacity for rejection.
Yeah.
And hearing the word no. You know, to hear 99 no's and then get one yes.
Right.
And everybody gets that in life, no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
For something. you just gotta, if you're passionate about it and determined about it, just keep following it. You know, you might get it in a way you didn't expect.
What are you running from?
My dad.
Then write about it. Let that pain become your inspiration.
I got some stuff I need to sort out, and I deal with it the only way I know how. And that's to write a song.
Well, another great thing is seeing how passionate Bart is about music and how he actually uses music kind of as his escape from the hard times.
He hid it from his father.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he could have it on his own so he wouldn't get the comment about it. You know, Bart's father wanted to be a football player, was actually pretty good, got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was the end of his dream, and so Bart was trying to follow his father,
right.
Football, you know.
Yeah.
And Bart got injured, but he, you know, his father derided him on it.
I was just gonna ask if there was, you know, I don't know if there was music or a song for you that ever got you through difficult times.
Oh, well, as a teenager, yeah, music got me through puberty. That's for sure. In my room. Yeah, that's where I learned the guitar.
Inspired by his son's music and his faith, Arthur eventually changes into the father that Bart always hoped he would be. From that point on, I Can Only Imagine shows audiences a touching story about forgiveness and redemption. For About Town, this is Susan Connor.
My dad was a monster, and I saw God transform him.
You have a gift, real gift.
I didn't think that God could do that. So I wrote this song for my dad.
I Can Only Imagine is currently playing at AMC Irving Mall and Regal MacArthur Marketplace. For more of Susan's reviews and interviews, visit thischicksflix.com.
The annual Police Awards banquet is coming up very fast.
Chief Jeff Spivey is here to tell us more. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you for having me.
Always great to see you, and I know that this banquet's coming up really soon and that there's a lot of fun in store and a lot of heartwarming moments in store. What can you share about the banquet with us?
So what I would remind people right now is that the banquet is truly a time to support and recognize the men and women of the Irving Police Department and all of the hard work that they've done for the past year. Come out and hear about the heroics, hear about the community service, and hear about just the awesomeness, if I may, of the employees that work for the Irving Police Department.
I think that's a great idea because having met a lot of the people on your team, you've got some great folks.
Thank you. They are.
Absolutely.
They are incredible.
Well, I know the proceeds go to help a very important program in our community. Can you tell us a little bit where the money goes and who benefits?
Absolutely. So it's the Family Advocacy Center, and the Family Advocacy Center is that one-stop shop for victims of violent crime or victims of domestic abuse. And so you have this little quaint-looking house over on West Pioneer Drive that hosts all of our counseling services, hosts our domestic violence investigators, hosts child protective services. The district attorney's office even has an office there where someone can come visit with an assistant DA, get a protective order. So we want to try to lessen the trauma of a victim of violent crime or domestic violence as much as possible. Putting all those resources in one place helps us to do that, and all of the money raised from the police banquet go to that benefit.
That's great.
That building in itself is a beacon of hope. You know, you pass by there and you know that if you ever, heaven forbid, but if you ever have a situation for yourself or for someone that you know and care about, you just point. This is where you go.
You're right. When they had the vision to create that, it was truly meant not to be that sterile government facility that most people think of when they think of dealing with the police or any type of government. It's that homey feel. You walk in and you walk into a living room with couches, a fireplace, recliners, just to help ease that stress, bring that worry down, and help with that healing process that begins the minute you walk in the door.
Well, I know we've got a lot of people watching who will absolutely want to be there and help be a part of all this. So where do folks get tickets?
So the best place to go is to go to our website, cityofirving.org/police. There's a big button on our website to register for the banquet. We still have sponsorship opportunities as well, so you can jump in and be a table sponsor. If you don't have 10 people that you want to bring, you can donate those chairs back to the police department, and allows us to have more officers and employees there.
Oh, that's great. That's great to know. And folks, the only way you're going to find out who gets the Brass Pig Award this year,
I'm not giving it away. You got to come. You've got to come see it. And it's going to be really funny. We previewed it last week, and the officer who's receiving the award is being a really good sport, and it's going to be a good time.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it myself. So folks, go to the website, cityofirving.org/police, and hit that button, because you will want to be at the Irving Police Awards banquet on Tuesday, March 27th, 6 p.m. at the Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas. We'll see you there.
Main Stage Irving Las Colinas brings us Agatha Christie's Whodunit, Witness for the Prosecution, which brings Bruce Coleman back to the director's chair. Susan Kamyad has this preview.
Leonard Vole is on trial for the murder of an esteemed London socialite. The question is, did he do it? You can find out by attending Main Stage Irving Las Colinas' newest production, Witness for the Prosecution.
And of the prisoner, Leonard Vole. That's not true, it wasn't me.
The play was written by Agatha Christie, so it's a courtroom drama mystery with some twists and turns along the way.
There is a murder that happens before the play starts, and the rest of the play is trying to find out who the killer is. There's a reason why this play has been a classic for 60 years, and that's because you really don't know what happens until the very last line of the play.
The show stars some dramatic and humorous characters.
Romaine is German. She's a foreigner. This play is set in England, so she's kind of this foreign, unknown, mysterious femme fatale blonde that kind of comes in and shakes things up because she doesn't act the way that they expect her to behave.
Sir Wilfrid Robarts is a barrister in England. This takes place in the early 1950s, late 40s. It's after World War II, and he's a very, stuffy, proper type of English barrister, and certainly is very well educated. He's got a sly side to him, and he really loves what he does.
For those who've already watched other versions of the play or film adaptations, you might notice that certain male characters are being played by women.
I've cast them in positions of power, which is not what would have happened back in the early 1950s. But our judge is a woman, the Leonard Vole's solicitor, his lawyer is a woman. All of the doctors in the courtroom who are giving testimony about the blood samples and things like that, they're all women. And it's lent a really interesting dynamic to the play.
In addition to the unique casting, there are plenty of other reasons to witness this play.
It's a wonderful play, and it's a wonderful drama, and it gives you kind of a taste. We modernize it, but at the same time you get a taste of some maybe the darker sides of human nature.
We've got a terrific cast, a great production, and I think it'll be an entertaining evening.
Everybody likes to guess who did what to who and when, and and all that stuff. And I don't know, it's just a good time.
Witness for the Prosecution is a thrilling courtroom mystery that will keep you guessing till the very end. For About Town, this is Susan Kamyad.
Well, don't go. There is so much more to be discussed. Not by me.
Witness for the Prosecution runs March 16th through the 31st in the Dupree Theater. Call 972-252-ARTS for tickets and showtimes.
Celebrating Irving 2018 has so many great activities planned that we need to get right to it.
Mary Higbee and Jen Bondner have the details.
Okay, this year is something really, really special. Let's talk about.
Well, we're doing tableaux vivants, which are living pictures, and the Singley Academy students in the theater department and the art department are helping us recreate 5 of Grant Wood's paintings on stage, and I think the public's going to absolutely love them.
I love that. I think that's such a great idea, and to have the school district involved in such a big way this year is really neat for all of us and for the kids.
Yeah. Jan, there's a special Irving Chautauqua coming up on April 14th.
There is. The library does Chautauqua every second Saturday of the month, and this year they're going to have Tom Milligan, who's from Iowa and has been portraying Grant Wood for over 17 years. He's going to come and be Grant Wood, and I'm sure he'll answer all your questions you have about Mr. Wood.
I love that. So, it occurs to me that I probably should ask why we have Grant Wood that we're featuring this year as a part of Celebrating Irving. Mary, can you talk about that?
Well, certainly. Well, this is Celebrating Irving, the City and the Man, which is Washington Irving and the City of Irving. And of course, many of us will know that Irving was founded by J.O. Schultz, who came from the great state of Iowa, went to the University of Iowa, returned there after he founded Irving. And so nothing says Iowa quite like Grant Wood, the American artist.
I think that you are right. And speaking of, when people think of Grant Wood, they think of paintings, but he was creative in so many more ways. Can you talk about that?
Yes. Everybody thinks of American Gothic, the man with the pitchfork and the young woman beside him. But he was very skilled with wood, metal, jewelry, and a stained glass window as well.
Tell us about the stained glass window.
It's at the Veterans Memorial Building there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's nearly 25 feet tall. It is absolutely gorgeous. And if you can imagine Grant Wood's American Gothic, the young woman was his sister. His sister is the female figure in the stained glass window as well. And it's a tribute to the 6 wars that led up to and including World War I.
And we're going to get to find out more about that.
And yes, we are going to find out more about that because Terry Van Dorsten is coming to tell us, and there are going to be exhibits at the Irving Art Center, actual Grant Wood exhibits of the figures, of some of the figures from that stained glass window.
This is incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. Now, tell us, I know how you're wrapping up the month because it's personally my favorite part of the celebration, but why don't you tell everybody else how the celebration ends?
Well, Jen just happened to bring an application. It's going to be Irving Trivia. And this is going to be all in one day this time, so it's winner take all for the contest, and it's open to anyone, young or adult. And you can have up to 4 people on your team or less. And we don't have anything that's too serious, just a lot of fun answering questions about Grant Wood, Washington Irving, and the city of Irving.
All righty, and so it's going to be big, and you'll be there
I'll
again.
Be there, of course.
Yeah, because these trivia teams, this gets serious.
It does.
Very competitive.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. Folks, as you can see, there's a lot going on, so you're going to have to go to the irvingheritage.com website for more details. But remember that we kick this event off, Celebrating Irving, the City and the Man, with Tableaux Vivant on Saturday, April 7th at 7 p.m. at Singley Academy. Be there. You're going to have such a good time. Members and friends of the Irving Art Association share their talent in a new exhibit at J.C. Park now through March 22nd. Here's a look and a list of fun and friendly things to do about town. And here are some other fun events happening about town. Pianist Rachel Kudo performs with the Las Colinas Symphony Orchestra on Saturday, March 17th at 8 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall.
The Irving Chorale teams up with the Irving ISD Elementary Honor Choir in their annual side-by-side concert, Child's Play, Saturday, March 24th at 7 p.m. in Carpenter Hall.
The Aga Khan Foundation Youth Summit showcases the artwork of high school students on the theme, Breaking the Cycle of Poverty. You can see the work and catch performances on Saturday, March 31st from noon to 4 p.m. in the Irving Arts Center, Suite 200.
Art with a Heart comes to Dupree Theater on Sunday, April 1st at 4 p.m. Art, music, storytelling, and dance combined in a performance benefiting Empower and Excel. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time when we'll visit downtown Irving's newest restaurant, Sap Sap, and we'll check out the Fort Worth Zoo's visit to West Irving Library.
We'll also have a behind-the-scenes look at the new Philharmonic Orchestra's children's concert, An Orchestra Meets a Dinosaur.
That was a lot of fun. We'll leave you tonight with a look at more from the African American History Month program. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Diana Pfaff. Have a great evening About Town.
There's no sun up in the skies, stormy weather, since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Life is bare